Hey guys, welcome to this super special episode of What the F. Today I am joined by Drew Dixon here in Nashville. He is an amazing singer-songwriter, also the co-founder of Electric Minds Foundation. And joining him is the other co-founder who you might recognize, Dr. Dan Snelgrove, who was on the first episode of this season. You guys, we get into all the things about epilepsy, like from, adolescence to college, to fulfilling your dreams as a singer-songwriter and the amazing things that Electric Minds Foundation is doing. Also, we get a sneak peek of the Electric Minds event that's happening with Drew singing a song. And if you want to see me cry, then stay to the end and watch Drew sing. But before we dive in, I want to give a huge shout out to sponsors Neurellis and SK Life Science and community partners Epilepsy Foundation of America, the Danny Did Foundation, and Epilepsy Alliance America. Thank you so much for believing in What the F. Okay, y'all, here we go. Drew.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
This is so exciting.
Thanks
I'm
for
so
having
pumped
me.
to be here.
Welcome to Nashville.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
I even have my cowgirl boots on.
You
just
look the part already.
I was
good.
like, you gotta just lean into
Absolutely.
it. When else do I wear them?
Of course.
I literally had to dust them off.
Really?
So yeah.
How long have you had them?
Oh my God, probably like 15 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bought them on
So
Broadway.
Chicago doesn't have a lot of places for cowboy boots, huh?
Probably, I think they're like even in fashion, but I'm just
Yeah,
not
it's
fashion.
coming
I'm just
back.
not trendy,
Sure. Oh, sure.
So-
Yeah, well, I'm glad you have an excuse to wear them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in Nashville?
No.
Oh, did we talk about
Not
this
at
already?
all. I don't know. You can't ask
Okay.
this epileptic brain what we've talked
Fair
about.
enough.
I have
Fair enough.
no idea.
When was the last time you were in Nashville?
Again, not sure, but my sister lives here.
Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah, so I
Gotcha.
have a reason to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so yeah, like a year ago. There it is.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the sound changes so quickly. So like my mom was just in town a couple weeks ago, and she hadn't been in town since I think 2022, and before COVID. So every time she comes here, she always points stuff out that I kind of like don't even register because I see it every day. But just how much the town changes, and whether it's the restaurant scene, bar scene, or just the construction, the cranes that just line the horizon everywhere you look. It's whether it's been a year or 2 years, whatever. Every time you come back, feels like this town changes so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Totally. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of just like exploded. It
Yeah.
feels like in the last almost like 20 years, like
Yeah.
kind of really took off.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, which could be aligned with Taylor Swift's trajectory, but I won't get into that.
There could be a connection for sure. Yeah.
Because we're not here to talk about Taylor. We're here to
No.
talk about you,
Me.
Drew. Yes.
All right. Okay.
So I mean, now you are this amazing epilepsy advocate, and also this amazing musician, and I can't wait to talk about both those things. But before we get into that, what I would really like to know is where your epilepsy started and why, when it started, you weren't, because from what I understand, it was something that you kind of kept to yourself,
Certainly.
which
Yeah.
I think a lot of us do.
Yeah. For sure.
And just kind of like talk, like what did it look like, and talk to me like why, you were just like, I'm just gonna not let anyone know
Gonna
about
bury
this.
this down as deep as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I was 13 or 14. I think I was 14. And the first seizure I ever had, I was alone in bed. And all my seizures have been when I've been coming either out or going into sleep. So it's like when I'm in that weird middle ground.
Sure.
And so that's what it was. It was right before Sunday school, and I was waking up and had a seizure. I didn't know what it was. It just kind of happened, and I didn't black out afterwards or anything like that. It just kind of happened, and I was like sitting there in bed, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And got up, went to Sunday school, didn't think anything of it. And then the second one I had, I was on the way back. We had been up in Greenville, South Carolina. We were on the way back from Furman University, and I was in the front seat, and my mom was driving. My grandmother was in the back. I fell asleep sort of in the passenger seat, and something triggered it, and I had one in the passenger seat. And so, of course, everyone in the car is freaking out. Like, my grandmother was just like praying out loud. The other two people were like trying to figure out where the nearest hospital was. Like, my mom's like punching my leg constantly, trying to get me to like wake up from afterward, all messy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So go to whatever the closest hospital was. And from then, then I started getting all the tests done, the MRIs and everything. And so, was 14 years old, and there's already so much weird shit happening with me at the time. I don't know what's going on with my body, with my emotions. Like,
Yeah,
like
14 is so rough.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm
Yeah.
already so confused about what's going on with my body, and then all of a sudden there's this other thing, and all a kid wants to be is normal, right? They all want to be like, no one wants to be different.
Right.
You want to fit in. You want to be like everybody else. And you don't realize that every other kid in your class is just as confused and just as scared and just has no idea what's going on.
Totally.
But you feel so alone already.
Yeah.
So then you add on epilepsy, and it's like, man, it's a tough thing. So I think that's why initially I didn't really talk about it too much. And so then fast forward 4 years, because I was a freshman in high school when all this was going on. Didn't have another seizure. Started medicine. Luckily, the medicine it worked. It did what it was supposed to do.
Okay.
And so didn't have any more seizures. Had like adverse reactions to I couldn't be in the sun too long, which is hilarious because I was a lifeguard for 2 summers and all that stuff, like, all that kind of weird stuff.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Such a teenager thing to do. Be like, oh, I'm not supposed to be in the sun. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go be.
I'm gonna be in the sun all summer, like all day, every day. Yeah. So did that, and then went to college, man. And so I went to the University of Georgia, and at the end of my freshman year, I was, we were moving out of the dorms, and I'd gotten my medicine from the student pharmacy, and so there was some weird timing of like my medicine ran out, and something where basically I didn't take my medicine for like a week.
Oh.
Like an idiot. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so then sure enough, I was back in South Carolina. I was home and I was asleep, and it was the morning time, and I was like starting to wake up and had a seizure. And so I was like, oh man. Because there's never like, whether it was last week or it was 10 years ago, when you start to have one, you're like, oh, here we go again, man. Like that feeling never, that fear never like goes down or away.
That's such a great way to put it. It's just like all of a sudden that terrible familiarity comes flooding back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's awful.
Yeah.
Terrible. So that happens, and I wasn't really sure what to do, because I think my mom was somewhere else. Just like she wasn't home. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go see my neurologist. And I didn't have an epileptologist at the time. I never even heard the word. So this would have been summer of 2006. So go to the neurologist, hit up Daniel. I was like, hey man, like I just had a seizure, and that's kind of like how the ball got rolling with our dialogue.
Wait. Let's back up, because like you and I know who Daniel is right now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No. But
to all those
love
listeners
this.
out there.
Yeah. So like,
okay, so Dr. Daniel Snelgrove, who is my partner in the Electric Minds Foundation, he and I grew up together, and we played basketball together, went to high school together, went to high school parties together. And he had a very well-known diagnosis of epilepsy, because it was more, I don't know, the term out there is not what I'm looking for, I don't think, but like everyone just knew about it. Everyone knew about it.
Well, he was on the podcast. It was the first episode of this season, so just a few episodes ago, and he had mentioned that like, his seizures were very visual. Yeah. Right.
For sure.
And like everyone kind of knew about them and saw them and sort of situation. Yeah.
And so he had a much tougher time hiding it, I guess.
Yes.
Whereas mine,
totally.
Dude, I'm taking medicine twice a day, and they're controlled.
Right.
I'm not gonna talk about this to the kid when he was 15 years old who has no idea what's going on. Like, hey, by the way, I also have seizures. Like, that's just not something that like I would have ever felt comfortable doing.
Right. Isn't that just so nuts though?
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, it's like
hindsight. Like in the moment, it makes complete sense. Yeah. Right.
Well, because it's just that clarity of growing up and realizing how confused everyone is at that time.
Yeah. Totally.
But at that time, you can't fathom that there's anything else wrong with you than anyone else.
Yes.
That you feel like everyone else is normal, everyone else is perfectly fine.
Yes.
And I'm the fucked up one.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Because it's that desire to be normal, and it's also like the teenage brain of just feeling like everyone's noticing everything about you as it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
for sure.
It's like, oh my gosh, everyone is noticing that like I have this pimple, or
if
that
you walk
I
down
have...
the hallway with your shoe untied,
Yes.
it's the worst day ever.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like, so to tackle on a neurological disease, like
Yeah.
that is so much more
Yes.
weight or baggage than you're willing to admit is there.
Right.
Even though it is there, you're
Right.
just willing not to admit that it's there.
Right.
So that was part of it.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
and Daniel, so he's having, more visible epilepsy, and you're like, that sucks for you, man, but I got...
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, bud. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna cruise through this.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say a fucking word about it, and we're just gonna see how long I can ride it out. And so so then after it happened, he was one of the first people I reached out to. I'm like, hey man, I had a seizure. I've had them before. Take medicine for it. And so we definitely grew closer from that. And then I had a couple more throughout college.
Were those also like due to medication?
Just being dumb and and being in college, not missing medications, and like probably partying too much and like doing things that don't mix well with medications.
Yeah.
It's like turns out that if you don't do a bunch of stuff that doesn't mix well with your medicine works.
Right.
And so that was a tough lesson learned, but
the thing is like, so I didn't have epilepsy in college because I wasn't diagnosed till I was 32. But I hear from so many people who did have epilepsy in college the same story.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Everyone's
Absolutely.
like, and I've seen so many people go through it too, where it's like those college years,
Yeah.
like, and I know, God knows if I was reckless in college, I didn't have to worry about epilepsy though, you know? So like, sure. I just think about like how, not to normalize it, but maybe like help people know that you're not alone in that,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Well, that goes back to having the confidence of talking about it in general.
Yes.
Just having the confidence to speak about it. In general, and like, just to be able to say I have epilepsy and I've had seizures. It's a tough conversation to have because, you say, okay, you're in college. And you don't want to hear it back then. It's like, but you're still kind of a child. Like you're 18 to 21 years old. You're still figuring it out. You don't have this amount of wisdom that's just granted to you at high school graduation. And so from being
sorry, that just sounds so lovely.
Right?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, right. As soon as you get to the point, they're like, all right, you're gonna figure a lot of shit out in the next 24 hours.
You're super smart
Congrats.
now. Yeah.
No, it does not happen like that. So like you're still figuring it all out, man. And at the same time, you're away from home for the first time. You're experiencing a lot of firsts for the first time. And so doing that, again, coupled with having to admit to all these new group of people that you've just met, that you're trying to pretend that you're just like them, and be like, oh, by the way, I have epilepsy. It's like, nah, that's the last thing you're going to want to talk about.
Totally.
It's a tough conversation to have, a tough topic to bring up.
Yeah.
So I didn't, and I had one on a road trip. But I was with two of my friends that me and Daniel grew up with. We were on a road trip to a football game somewhere else. Can't remember where. And did that. And so then when it happens in front of people, there's no kind of coming back from that. You can't be like, that was the first time. It's weird. It's weird that happened. I don't know. Like, so crazy that just happened like that.
Strange anomaly.
Yeah.
You
guys,
I don't know.
This happens to you too, right? Yeah. No?
Has it happened?
You guys don't do this shit?
Yeah.
All right. I'll have the weird ones. So whatever. And so a couple of other times. And so my seizures were very much like my head will start jerking to the side, body kind of tenses up, and that's kind of the extent of it. So kept having those types. And then the last one I had was October 24th of 2014. That year I had a few pretty gnarly ones, and they were getting worse, and obviously it had now then more frequent. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? So after that one, I finally decided, okay, I have to like figure this out. I got to like see someone to talk about it. So went to my general practitioner here in town. He then sent me to an epileptologist at Vandy. I was 20, in my late 20s. I'd never heard the word epileptologist. I've gone through all this treatment in South Carolina, and now whether or not I saw one or not, that word had not ever registered with me. So go to see an epileptologist at Vandy. He's still who I go see once a year. He basically was like, okay, what do you do? We had lowered my dosage. I went back to taking medication once a day, 300 milligrams. So he's like, well, let's go back to doubling that. So we did, He's like, and what seems to be some of the issues. And I was telling him something like whether it was what I was doing beforehand or whether I'd been out drinking, stuff like that. He's like, well, let's just not do that either. Okay, cool. And sure enough, man, like that, I've been seizure free ever since. And so it goes back to the whole, like, yeah, don't put a bunch of stuff in your body that if you're taking a medication that doesn't react well to it.
Sure.
And, from my experience, it has helped. Now I can't speak for everyone. And I consider myself extremely lucky that mine are as able to be controlled by just having the correct medication.
So wait, I just want to make sure I got this right.
Yeah.
So you've been on the same medication dose for 12 years and haven't had a seizure since. Also made lifestyle changes, whatever those may be.
Sure. Yeah.
And haven't had a seizure in 12.
Correct. Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thanks.
man. That is amazing.
Thanks.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm
We have
extremely
to
fortunate.
celebrate that.
For sure. I mean, that was kind of how Electric Minds got started, was because I mistakenly thought that I mistakenly thought I was 10 years seizure free, and I was so stoked on it. I was like calling my mom, my sister, and be like, dude, like next week I'm gonna be 10 years seizure free. This is fucking awesome, all this shit. And then I go in to see Dr. Abu Khalil at Vandy, and I was like, yeah, I'm 10 years seizure free this year.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. I was like, what? And he like turn. I'm like, yeah, it's 10 years seizure free. Of course, he's looking at all the notes like in front of him. He like turns the screen around. He's like, 9 years. Oh, dude.
Oh,
Man.
that's brutal.
I know. Such a, but from that mistaken, celebration of 10 years, I was like, dude, for the 10-year seizure free, we should get this thing going. Let's finally get this foundation going.
Yeah. Tell us about Electric Minds. Like how that, I love this. I love that this like mistake led to this.
Yeah. So we had talked about it. Before, and just kind of had the idea of like,
and by we you mean you
by
and
me,
Dan.
I'm sorry, yes. By me, myself and Dr. Daniel Snelgrove had talked about.
I love how you keep calling him Dr. Daniel Snelgrove.
Dr. Daniel
Like you've
Snelgrove.
known him your entire life almost.
Well, I
and
know.
I'm
Well,
just
it feels weird to say that, but I don't know who's listening. That
but
like,
I'm the disrespectful one that's like just Dan,
I just
and you're
call- I
like
call him-
Dr. Daniel Snelgrove.
I call him D. That's how that's it. Yeah, we'll dig up the skeletons later on me and him. But no, so me and D basically were like, okay, this is back in like, I want to say like during COVID or something like that. We started talking about it, and we're like, man, it'd be really cool to give something back to the community that helped us so much, obviously, and us being on kind of ends of the spectrum in terms of his was so severe and mine being as mild as it was. Both still felt very fortunate that we were able to get the help that we did. And that was ultimately able to help us be seizure free. He's been seizure free since 2003 and 2014. So like to be able to do that and to come from South Carolina and him now practicing medicine in South Carolina and seeing what the people have access to and what they don't. It's that the ignorance is bliss. Like when you don't know the size of the mountain that you're starting to climb, it makes it a lot easier to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of, we went into it just being like, okay, let's just raise money for research, like let's start somewhere.
Sure.
And so that was the first kind of like, okay, that's what we'll say. That's what our first goal is. Then we got into it and we realized, how much, a drop in the bucket, what money we could raise might help or not.
Oh my God.
So then it was like, okay, well, what can we do?
It's like, oh, we can't raise $50 million
dude.
to actually
Yeah.
help. Because research, I tried the same thing.
Yeah, it's insane.
To raise money for research. And it was like, if I found out, like if I were to raise $250K, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would just be to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
That wouldn't
Isn't that
even do
ridiculous?
anything.
That's insane.
That's what a researcher told me for the lab I was trying to raise money
Yeah.
for. I was like, okay. Well, okay, so
Yeah.
like,
So a little more than 250,000.
So what else
Got
can
it.
I do?
Got it. Got it. All right.
Right.
Okay. Well, change of course then, I think. Yeah. So that's what we did. We basically, once that we got into, the first hoop is getting it started, and we were very fortunate to have some people that we met along the way and that aligned with us that helped us start a 501c3, because that is a daunting process in and of itself.
That is not easy. It's not easy to start and not easy to keep up.
No, and then I'm getting phone calls from the bank being like, "Do you expect to have a $20,000 daily amount, or are you going to have like a $50,000?" I was like, we're hoping to raise like 3 stacks in a year would be sick. So we're on different pages.
Right.
And so I'd have to call, my buddy that works at the bank, and I'd be like, hey man, what is this? He's like, I'll take care of it, man. It's all good. Like having that, because there's so many.
Buddy that works at a bank. I need that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. And so just because like that, even right there, I'd be like, I guess we're not doing this because I don't even know how to proceed with these figures that they're talking about.
Totally.
That sort of stuff. So we get into it, we start meeting people, and we start getting Daniel with his I guess medical contacts. We meet Brad and Candy, and having them be our mentors has changed so much.
And they are the founders of Disney Day.
Yes,
correct.
Epilepsy Awareness Day at.
Thank you.
Epilepsy Awareness Day at Disneyland.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a lot. Yeah,
It is. My brain can't remember it. Yes.
And just having them, and they're so energetic, and they're so welcoming, and they're so willing to share everything that they have, with their knowledge, their time, everything. So
awesome.
once we got the foundation started, then it was like, okay, research is going to be tough. What can we do then, kind of locally? And there's some local people in South Carolina who we met that we were able to partner with for a little bit, and that was amazing. And then we started getting into Epilepsy Awareness Day, and we started meeting that whole crowds where we met you, and like that opened up so much, not just for the foundation, but for me personally. That was where I started to get the confidence to talk about having epilepsy. Because when you walk in that room and you see the community, it's a credit and testament to what Brad and Candy have built. When you walk in there and you see the community and you see the support and you see how many others like you are out there.
Totally.
It changes everything.
It is very strange to like, because it was the first time I went was last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no idea what to expect, and I was like, this is so weird to have like serotonin and dopamine. Like the forefront,
dude. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like, but that's like it felt like just like all of this feel goodness.
Yeah.
You know, around epilepsy, and I was like, what is going on?
And it was for me. I remember like it was the first time feeling like having epilepsy was a badge of honor.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That hits it. Yes, that resonates so hard. 100%.
Yeah, and like being in there and talking to these people, and it's
made you
fucking
feel like
heavy,
you belong.
man. Because like these people are going through stuff that you remember going through, and you're watching their family go through things that you remember your family going through, and it's just like, man. So it's so awesome being there to be supportive for them or support them, and having be like, hey man, like I'm not just a dude sitting across the desk like trying to sell you something or trying to like push on a new medication or whatever. Like I went through it. I was there. Like I did it too.
Yeah.
And we're here trying to help. That's
totally.
it. So that's been really cool. That's been a really cool experience to have. We've been there three times. And we'll be back again this year. It's been really cool to kind of have that confidence and something, because just whether you're 14 years old, whether you're 44, whether you're in your 60s, everyone has something that they might be self-conscious about. And so that can be a bad haircut, it could be whatever, or it can be a neurological disease that isn't on the surface,
Totally.
Because that leads to the mental health issues, so many things.
Yeah.
And so I feel like having that confidence now to talk about it. It's a weight lifted for sure.
Totally.
But I don't know. It has been an amazing. It's been an amazing thing to learn. To learn about yourself. To know that like, hey man, like I know I have epilepsy, but like epilepsy doesn't have me. Right. That whole thing. And that's kind of what we want with this foundation. It's like we want people to know that like it's okay. Like so many people have it.
Right.
So many people have it, and it's tough to talk about, and it's tough to put yourself out there to talk about it. But when you're surrounded like an epilepsy day, you just go, man, there's so many people that feel the same way. They all feel alienated. They all feel like ostracized. Like, how can we get everybody together? And that's what our events have started to be like. Hey man, like come in, hang out. This is an event first. We're not gonna come in and be preachy about this. We're not gonna like throw it all in your face.
Sure.
This is a thing to just like bring everybody together, have a good time, and also be like, hey, the reason that we're here doing this is because we're trying to help people with epilepsy.
Right.
That's kind of where it all starts.
Right. And a lot of it, or at least tomorrow night's, is based around music. And you, as a musician, in the like acoustic blues, right? Is that an accurate description?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like your music. The first time I heard it was in California at Disney Day. and you played. It was so nice. You played an impromptu acoustic set in the Other Side Lounge
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everyone. And the first song, I was sobbing. Like, and that, I mean, you did warn us. You're like, this song is sad, and it wasn't even so much that it was this song that was sad. It's just that, like, I forget that, like, that type of music just makes me cry just because it does speak to your soul so much, And so I'm just sitting there just, like, bawling, like, hanging on to George, like, oh my God. But, like, I'm just so curious how you got on this journey into music. Like, when music, like, how long music has spoken to you, like, and how things are going. I mean, your latest track single, I don't know what people
Both of them are
call it.
correct.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you. Running is I'm obsessed with.
Thank you.
It plays on
Thank you.
repeat
Thank
on
you.
my Spotify. Yes, highly recommend. So, like, how does that correlate with your epilepsy, or no? Or am I just, because I know, like, there's been, like, a lot of theories that people with epilepsy are more creative and stuff like that. And
Right.
so, yeah, like, how's that journey been for you, and
It's
where did
crazy.
it start?
It started when I was young. I started when I was like 7. I took some guitar lessons when I was 7. I hated it, so I quit. I did, and I think my dad, he bought me some lessons from like a silent auction, and he bought me 5. And I think I went to 3, and after the 3rd, I was like, I'm not going back. And then, a couple years later, I kind of fell back into it. I played in the band in school, had bands with my buddies, and none of us knew how to play any of the instruments. We were just making a bunch of noise, essentially. And somewhere along the line, I decided to actually learn how to play guitar, and I think I was around 8th grade. And then after that, just stuck with it. It was always, I don't know, music has always been something that has meant so much to me, and it has so much like different chapters of my life. Like certain music brings me back there. I guess everyone kind of has that. That's the whole thing, like music nostalgia. But
Especially right now, because a lot of 90s songs are, like, coming back.
coming back around.
And, oh, my God, it's just taking me back,
Yeah.
like, to... Did you listen to Santa Monica by Everclear?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that song right now is, like, also on repeat on my Spotify.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely, man.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
And I think music just has such a powerful way to like tap into different areas of your brain. And I believe in music therapy. I'm a part of a foundation here in town called Musicians on Call. And they bring music into hospital bedrooms, essentially, for people who can't leave their rooms. And the change in someone's day when you walk in there and they're having one of the worst days of their lives, and you go in, you play a song for them, talk to them for a little bit, and you walk back out, and just like the emotion in the room when you walk in compared to when you leave, how much lighter it is in the room, seeing them smile, seeing them whatever, like hearing the nurses at the nurse station talk about, like, we haven't even heard that person like say it. They haven't smiled since they've been here. It's the first time we've seen them smile. Like, that's so cool. And I think that's so powerful. Yeah, I think it's a testament to the power of music. And so that is just something that I've always believed in. And so going through college, went to the University of Georgia in Athens. Athens has a really historic music history. So I played there all the time. Graduated. I was a journalism major. Knew I wanted to write. And so graduated, lived in Athens for another year. Played music around town, started touring, started getting familiar with touring and that whole crazy industry. And so then moved to Nashville in 2011 and been here and touring and writing and recording and, trying to figure it out ever since.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fun. It's terrifying. I mean, there's no roadmap. There's no, hey, if you do this and this and this, you're going to succeed. It's kind of like, all right. Especially now with how crazy, everything's changed with social media and with streaming and all that stuff. Like every 6 months, it's like the things that worked 6 months ago, no one even does it because now you got to follow the trends, right? The TikTok dances.
Oh God,
Dan loves those. No, but especially for a lot of it, that's what it is. A lot of like the pop music. If you're going for popular music, you're following these trends. Now, I think it's been amazing that there are artists that don't do that and still continue to succeed. I think that is a beautiful part of the industry. But that's just kind of the thing about like getting into this. You're not sure if you're gonna make it or not, and if you don't love it entirely, if you're not sure that you want to do that, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Then it's not the business for you because you're going to come in and you're going to realize very quickly that Everyone likes being under the lights, the 30 to 60 minutes you have on stage playing to people that sing your song back to you. There's a reason that fame is the worst drug in the world, because that is so much fun.
Oh.
But the other 23 and a half hours of the day when you're on the grind, when you're sweaty driving from Kansas City back to Nashville overnight to play another show or whatever, or then you play a show the next night to an empty room and there's no one there other than the sound guy and the other bands playing that night. It's like, you got to love every part of it. And,
Totally.
It's like the overnight halls with the band, that those are my favorite parts. And that's just like something that kind of has kept me going in terms of, am I still meant to be doing this? It's like, man, which parts do you like? Which parts don't you like? And if it ever gets down to like, okay, I'm not enjoying every bit of it, if I don't enjoy the tough stuff too, time to get out.
That is so cool. And the whole
We'll see if it works out.
It looks like it is, man.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm thinking, like, when you're talking about this, like, how that plays with epilepsy.
Oh yeah, I didn't answer that part. Sorry.
No. You're fine, because I think I asked a different question. I'm going to ask a different one now.
Okay, cool.
So, like, because you're like talking about late nights and you're talking about all these things, and just how do you manage that? Because I know sometimes when, I don't know, for me anyway, when it was like I was diagnosed, it was kind of like, you can't do this, and like just all the can'ts.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And so like I'm hearing what your lifestyle is like, and I'm sure like
Chaos.
that I was like, I was like, can't. All I can hear is like can't
Can't
you
do
know.
that. Can't do that. Shouldn't definitely do that.
But you
No,
are,
like, yeah.
and you're still seizure free. So
I've been very, very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
And that, whether it's a testament to having the correct medication, the correct epileptologist that I'm seeing, all the things that they tell being heavily sleep deprived, done that, shouldn't do that. Like so many on that checklist, and I've luckily been able to keep everything under control. But that's another part of like of being scared about talking about having epilepsy, because how many times have I been on an overnight drive with my band that I'm responsible for, and like, are they gonna be okay with me driving and being responsible for their lives if they know, that sort of thing. So that was always kind of a crazy part too. And so a few years ago when I finally started talking about it so much, even my band was like, dude, we had no idea. And they're completely fine with it.
Yeah.
But like, dude, we had no idea. It's like,
Right.
I'm not going to tell you guys.
Right.
Y'all were all asleep anyways. I was having the ones, having to stay awake and drive through Kansas. But
Assholes.
yeah, right. No, man. So that's probably, I've just been very, very fortunate that a lot of those things that they tell you not to do, I've done and been able to come out the other side and be fine. But I'm sure that I've caused my mom more than one sleepless night from doing all this stuff, because I'm sure she was the one who was told back when I was initially diagnosed, hey, he shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing this. And then fast forward 10 years later, like, hey, mom, I'm doing this. She's like, great. Yeah. Awesome. Sure, law school is not the road you want?
Law
Like,
school.
all right, well,
Yeah.
well, fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely part of it.
What inspires you like to write as like a songwriter? Like, what are the things that like get you kind of like in the zone, or things that you take and you're like, ooh, that would make a good song lyric or topic, or
I think just all kinds of stuff. My phone notes app is just full of half thoughts that just kind of float in, and I go, oh, that's cool, and write it down. And so then you kind of go back, and I try to write every day. So I'll in the morning time I'll sit down and I kind of use it as my way to journal. I've never been very good at keeping up a consistent journal, and so I use that. And it's however I'm feeling, and whether I'm happy, sad, bummed, tired, whatever, I kind of just try to use that and turn it into something that resembles a song. Now, most of it is very bad. Most of it is awful. But you try to do it over and over and over again, and then the more you do it, then every once in a while you get a good song.
Sure.
And then every once in a while you get, then you write a few good songs, and every once in a while you get one you go, okay, that one's really special.
Sure.
And that's how running felt for me.
Nice.
And so that one, I wrote that one incredibly quickly, and it was like I was driving around the day before, and the tag came into my mind. It was like, you can't tame a river, I think was the one originally. And the next morning I was washing the dishes after breakfast, and instead of tame, blame came in my head. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool too. Left the dishes as is, went and wrote the song. 15 minutes later, it was done.
No
Came
way.
back, yeah.
That
And
is so cool.
It's just kind of like, when you get in that zone and you try to hold on to that as long as you can.
Yeah.
And so that's something I read a lot, and that a lot of that inspires me, whether it's, if I'm reading historical nonfiction or Southern noir or mysteries or whatever, I can definitely go back and look at a song and see what style I'm writing and be like, oh, I remember I was in a heavy like Agatha Christie stage at that time, like, or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a big part of it though,
so
and that
awesome.
always has been. And other than that, yeah, just being able to have like, I want to say empathy, like having that empathy for I don't know, other people, the human race in general.
Yeah.
I think that inspires me a lot to write, to sit down and put my feelings and vulnerabilities and stuff like that kind of at the forefront.
100%. That's amazing. And it comes out in your writing.
Thank you.
That empathy really does.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
That have nothing to do with what we've just been talking about. Well, kind of.
All right.
Meh, varying.
I'm going to answer them either way.
Okay.
So it's all good. Yeah.
Sweet. Number 1, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Awesome. I approve. Number 2, if you could tell your newly diagnosed self one thing, what would it be?
It's going to be okay. It's going to be scary. It's going to be okay. And you're going to get through it.
It's good. It's funny how the simplest things are still just so resonating.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like that would make such a difference to hear that at that age.
For sure.
Yeah. Number 3, what does it mean to you to be a friend?
To be there, to always show up. And whether it's a phone call, whether it's FaceTime, whether it's being in person, knowing that I can call someone and rely on them to answer and to give me a truthful answer to whatever I ask them or whatever situation I'm going through, whether I like the answer or not. I think having that honesty and being able to do that with someone, that I think is true friendship.
Yeah, and we're gonna have one of your friends show up right now.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
Dr. Daniel Snelgrove.
So we can talk about the Electric Minds
Yes.
Foundation, which you guys started.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, Dan,
Awesome. Okay.
come on down.
It's like Jerry Springer, like, we got him in the back.
Yeah. Okay, so we are having 2 full circle moments here. I'm so excited. We have Dr. Daniel Snelgrove back again. You guys might recognize him from the first episode of this season, which I believe was called The Real Life Pitt. Docs with Epilepsy. Because Dan, you are, as you know, a neurointensivist in South Carolina
Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
I was going to mess
Not
that
to
up.
be confused with the University of South Carolina, which is where I went to undergrad and med school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have messed that up in the last
Oh,
episode.
no.
Okay. So
It's
thank
kind of
you.
like the Ohio State people, how they have to say the.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's where that. Yeah.
Yeah, those people are obnoxious. But no, and then also the same Dan that Drew called to be like, yo, I have epilepsy too. I know you also have it because I watched you, sucker. And no, I'm kidding. You
Absolute
didn't do that.
asshole move. Years after the fact. Could have really used.
Could have used a friend back then, huh?
Yeah.
No. We're not here to shame. We're just giving you shit. And then the co-founders of the Electric Mind Foundation, which I would like you guys to just tell us all about what you guys do, what your mission is, the events you guys have. We have one tomorrow here in Nashville, which I'm so excited about. But because it's so cool what you guys are doing. It's very multifaceted, and I know you guys are I'm just gonna stop talking so you can.
I think it's good to be back. Thank you for thank you for coming to our event.
This is the first
here in
time.
Nashville.
Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Obviously, again, country.
Boots,
Cowboy
man.
I know, and
boots.
I have Jordans on, but I might I might wander into a boot store here later today. But yeah, it's Drew hit on it earlier, just about when he was the brainchild, we need to do something. And we had talked about it when we first connected back in 2014 when I found out you had seizures, and we kind of had that whole thing, or whatever year that was when we talked.
No, 2014 is when he went seizure free.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're correct. You're on a roll.
Yeah,
You're good.
you know what I mean.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
When we had that first
I'm
conversation.
just gonna be the fact checker here. Like, what an asshole.
No,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you. It felt wrong when I said it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things. Like I think when we started the foundation, you don't know what you're getting into, which is like what he was talking about.
Totally.
And I think for the first couple months, it was kind of like, what in the hell are we actually doing? What are we trying to do?
Yeah.
Then we've met some amazing, like the Levies, Brad and Candy of Sophie's Journey, and then like seeing like, all right, what does like actual advocacy that does what it says it's trying to do, what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so I think, from a foundation standpoint, we've settled into this really cool spot where we have these music events, but we also find that as like an avenue where we can like advocate for people with epilepsy, educate a little bit, and then like inspire people like, hey, like, this is like a good thing that we're trying to do. And that thing kind of goes back to, I think, like the shared experience a lot of us do. And obviously Drew and I tend to think about it from the pediatric epilepsy side, being a kid. I was 12 when I was diagnosed. You were 13 or 14 and going through all just the BS of life at that point with a diagnosis like that, managing medications, and then the stigma and hiding it from your friends. And then God forbid your friends see you have all the things that come with that. And so as we met and got to know the Levies, went to the first Epilepsy Awareness Day several years ago, I think to us, that was kind of like the aha moment. Like, this is where like we can have a real impact right now. And I mean,
for sure.
For us, I think what we want is I want to send as many families and kids that are struggling with epilepsy and don't know what the hell's going on, or they even seeing an epileptologist,
Right.
Hey, look, I know it's in LA, but like, we can get you there. Like, we'll
send them to
we want to send you to this. And to me,
we want to send you to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's almost like a Make-A-Wish, but it's
Yeah.
for a
Right.
kid with epilepsy and a family. And the amazing thing about that conference is that you have all these kids, teenagers, young adults, everybody of all shapes and sizes with epilepsy. You have the families that have been navigating it. They're advocating, learning from each other. Then you have the industry folks. You have the epileptologists from all the leading places. You have the pediatric neurosurgeons. Like, there's so much there in the vibes. I mean, you say, it's like you feel it. It's like,
Yeah.
It's
hard to describe too,
Yeah,
because like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was like a little skeptical
Yeah.
because I was just like, I don't know, that just seems like so counterintuitive to put epilepsy and Disney together, something
and
like
mixing patient and industry, like that's also a little like kind of counterintuitive too.
Right. And I was just like, I just don't understand. And then you walk in, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
but everything's magical.
yeah.
It's still
This is
magical.
awesome.
Like,
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as you see it, as soon as you feel it, it's like, all right, to me, that's what, I mean, you said too, I think that was so inspiring. The first year we showed up, we had like, we didn't even have a business card.
I don't think we had business cards.
We had like a booth. We were set up
I still don't have those.
I had never
It's
been to a
fine.
business conference before, so I didn't know what to wear.
It's not a business conference, it's a medical conference.
I'd never been to a conference before at all. Any kind of conference band. And so I didn't know. I remember the night before, I wasn't even sure, what do I wear? Am I going to be overdressed, underdressed? I'm not sure how this is going to go. What do I even bring with me? So then we get there. Yeah, we didn't have cards. We had like one flag we could have like on top of our table. And we had merch. That was our first to bring some start fundraising. We had merch. We had like t-shirts and hats. They're like, yeah, you should sell them. And we ended up just giving every single one away. Like, not a chance.
The first day, we literally gave away everything, and we're
and we're across from like Duke.
Yeah,
and
Duke,
has
Mayo
this
Clinic,
massive, such a professional, amazing display.
Yeah.
And then people would turn their heads, and there we were just like waving at them.
And they're like, so what are you guys doing here? What's Electric Minds? That's so cool. We'd be like, We're trying to figure it out.
Boy,
Take a hat.
that's a great question. Yeah, great question. How about this shiny thing over here?
Yeah,
there you go. So it's yours now.
But it's been cool because with every event, so we've been having 2 events per year, one in Nashville, one in Columbia. Nashville is typically like our summer event during CMA Fest week, and it's always a good excuse to come up here to hang out with Drew for a couple of days. Yeah. And then we've been doing it back home in Columbia during November being also Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And then this coming November, we're actually going to have our first event in Charleston, which I'm super excited about, like being at home base for me now and like rallying the troops and all that. But
yeah, and Charleston's dope. I mean, Nashville and Charleston are 2 just awesome cities.
Yeah, for sure.
I think our big effort right now is really, I feel like we're figuring out the fundraising piece, and we have an application that we're going to be like publishing on our website, sending to different clinics and stuff. Like, look, we're looking for kids and families. Everybody with epilepsy has been going through a hard time. We know that, but like, connect us. We want to, like, if someone's interested, we really think it's important to get them to this amazing expo.
And having that goal, having the goal of the expo.
And by expo, I just want to make sure everyone understands. Expo means the Disney
Epilepsy
Day,
Awareness Day.
Awareness Day.
Sorry about
that. No, I just want to make sure everyone understands because we have like so many different names for it. Which is not a bad thing. But we know what we're talking about.
I mean, it's the event.
Yes, the Epilepsy Awareness Day at Disney.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I got it.
Nailed it.
You did.
Wow.
There you go.
You did.
There you go.
Look at that brain
I
doing
think
it.
you probably it's brought a lot of clarity to things for us.
When we were like, okay, what do we want to do with this foundation? What's our goal? And it started out as research. Then it's like, okay, well, what else can we do? Then once we experienced Epilepsy Awareness Day at Disneyland, it was like, oh man, that could be what the goal is. And like we're raising this money, we like that now gives us something to say, hey, we want to be able to help other people, and we think that sending them to this is what could best help them. So having that goal definitely changed how like our fundraising, just having that like, okay, this is why we're doing this fundraising. That's been,
and like that, it's funny because like even if they don't get like I'm fortunate I got my cure. Drew's fortunate, right? You've been fighting a hell of a battle lately, right? But at least it introduces you to a community of people.
Totally.
Which is like incredibly therapeutic.
Yeah.
For not just the kids, obviously like the families too, right? I mean I think the strain that it puts on like the family dynamic, I mean that could be a whole separate discussion, right, about what that does to a family.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so important. But then too, we always talk like from day one, we've said we want to get to the point, grow to the point where we can have a camp for kids in South Carolina, introduce them to the arts, because you're always told what you can and can't do as a kid with epilepsy.
That was Dan's brainchild.
Like,
I love that.
And how I am not, epilepsy did not breed creativity in me at all. But I'm fascinated by history, and there's so much to that. And Drew obviously being the artist, and my wife is an art. Everybody in her family is an artist. Like, we want to just basically show them what they can do, and just have like a good, just a good vibe. Have our own little thing like that. So we're growing towards that, but I think right now we're like, all right, we gotta get as many kids and families as we can. We got to get on this train and get them to Disneyland and Epilepsy Awareness Day.
I love that because it does, like, and I like how you say like it's important for families too, like because then it's like the family doing something fun. Right. And together. And also like, so it's alleviating a little bit of that. And also then families connecting with other families, which is just as important as people with epilepsy connecting with people with epilepsy.
Totally. Right.
So it's really amazing work you guys are doing. I'm going to post a link. So if anyone wants to donate and help get some families to Epilepsy Awareness Day in Disney, they can.
Awesome.
And tomorrow night we've got a musical lineup that is really awesome, including Drew.
Yes.
And Drew, you're going to play a little something for us, right? To give us a preview, which I'm so stoked about.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Okay, cool. Well, Dan, I'm kicking you out. No, I'm kidding. No, you can stay there. That's fine.
I'll rub his feet while he plays.
You keep saying that. I'm making me a little worried.
It's the second time I've said that in an hour and a half.
Yeah. It's a small window. It's a small window of time to say that twice.
All right.
I've heard you can't see where you're going if you don't know where you've been. That cold water keeps on flowing, hiding what lies around the bend. I've been drifting for a while now, ain't got no moss on my stone. That mean old wind, it keeps on blowing. I've always been better on my own. You can't blame a river for running. That's what it was put on earth to do. Running leads to change and going your own way. I guess that I was made for running too. Gentle waters make bad sailors, and I find my peace in wilder storms. Maybe one day I'll find the answers to why these rapids feel like home. You can't blame a river for running. That's what it was put on earth to do. Running leads to change, going your own way. I guess that I was made for running too. It ain't always reaching the horizon. Restless wondering why you still want more. It's this feeling that keeps swimming in my mind, to set my sights on distant shores. You can't blame a river for running. That's what it was put on earth to do. Running leads to change, going your own way. I guess that I was made for running too. Running leads to change, brings me home someday. I guess the running's what I was supposed to do.
Oh, Drew, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
That song is like a big, deep breath.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh my God, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for
thank
coming to
you for
Nashville.
all of the work you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't wait to continue seeing all of the work you're gonna keep doing, man.
Thank you, lady.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.